Hey, what's going on? I'm Jordan Harris, and this is Sports Truth. So today we're talking straight to Chiefs Kingdom. What are the three keys to victory in the Super Bowl? And then I'll also be talking about or giving my prediction as well. So let's jump right into it. Let's not beat around the bush here. Get right into it. All right. So when it comes to the Chiefs in this Super Bowl matchup, the most important player on the field Super Bowl Sunday will be Brock Purdy. Why is that? I'm not saying Brock Purdy is the best player. I'm saying he is the most important player. That is because he is the wild card. And what I mean by that is you have players all over the field who are all-time great players. You've got Travis Kelce, who's the best tight end ever. You've got Patrick Mahomes, who's the best quarterback ever. You've got Christian McCaffrey, who's one of the best running backs of all time. You've got Trent Williams, who's one of the best offensive linemen of all time. You got George Kittle. You got all-time great players everywhere. And all of those players have shown the ability to play excellent every single game. They don't really have down games. Patrick Mahomes shows up every time. Kelsey shows up every time. All these players that I named, they show up every single time and play excellent. So the one player that you don't really know what he's going to do is Brock Purdy. We've seen him look excellent sometimes, but we've also seen him look like he just laid a big fat F, right? Like if you would give him a grade, he'd get an F on some of these games that he's playing. So that's why he's the most important player. It's because he could literally go one way or the other. You don't really know what you're going to get from him from game to game. And what the Chiefs cannot have in this game, they cannot allow Brock Purdy to get comfortable. If he gets comfortable, the Chiefs will lose. I can guarantee you that. I live in Wichita, Kansas, so I've seen just about every Chiefs game you can think of. But my brother is a huge 49ers fan, so I've seen just about every 49ers game too, right? I know both of these teams very well. If Brock Purdy plays well, they will not lose to any team. I don't care if it's the Chiefs, the Ravens, I don't care who it is. They will not lose. You saw what the 49ers did against the Lions in one half when Brock Purdy was playing well. They just erased them off the field. So you got to make him uncomfortable. And how do you do that? You do it by mixing up coverages. You do that by going from man one play to a blitz and zone the next play, then go to a blitz and man. And so you just mix it all up. I know Spags is real heavy on blitzing with a zone behind it. He's real big on that. But if he does that and he gets real comfortable and he just continuously sees the same defense, I'm telling you, Brock Purdy is going to eat that up. Brock Purdy is excellent. I don't mean he's decent. I don't mean he's good. I don't mean he's pretty good. I mean he is excellent in the first second that he gets the ball because he's able to read what the defense has. And if you are showing your hand even a little bit, he's going to get the ball and go right to where he needs to go every time. But if you make him hold the ball for that first second or so and get him into that between the first second, or let's say after 1 second into that 2.5 seconds, if he holds the ball long there and you get a little bit of pressure on him, that's when he starts making mistakes. So you've got to get him down within that time period though, because if he extends it outside of that window and he gets to that point of time where it's like 2.5 seconds all the way up to the 5 second mark, once he gets there and he's outside the pocket running around, he's going to kill you. I'm telling you, I've seen enough of these games. People don't believe in Brock Purdy, but the first second that he has the ball, he's excellent. And then if he's able to get outside of that window between 1 second and 2.5 seconds, if he's able to extend the play past then, he will cook you. Okay, so you got to make Brock Purdy uncomfortable if you're going to beat them. The second thing that's going to be a deciding factor for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl is Chris Jones. I think he's probably the second best defensive lineman, defensive tackle in the NFL. I still got Aaron Donald. I don't see anybody mess with Aaron Donald. He is a problem. But I think Chris Jones is second. I think he's right behind him. The reason why Chris Jones is super important in this game is because he does have some decent – he's got some good corners. He's got Snead out there, so he's got some good corners. But the thing that makes Brock Purdy most uncomfortable is getting pressure right down the middle. If you can get pressure right down the middle on Brock Purdy and get some pressure into his lap, he's only 6 foot barely. So he's not able to throw over the top of people very well. That's when he throws a lot of his interceptions. So if you can get Chris Jones to get into the lap of Brock Purdy, that would help tremendously. Chris Jones is probably going to be the most important player on the Chiefs side of the. I think on the Chiefs team, Chris Jones is going to be the most important player because we know what we're getting from Kelsey. We know what we're getting from Mahomes. I think Chris Jones is the most important player for the Chiefs. All right, so the third thing that will dictate this is going to be Mahomes being Superman. And that goes two different ways here. The first way is in a positive way. So if Mahomes is back there and he is doing the typical Mahomes stuff where he's extending plays, he's running for the 5-yard, 6-yard first downs, extending drives. If he's doing all of that, doing the Superman stuff that we typically see from him, because he is ridiculously good. If he's doing that, you'll be just fine. I mean, obviously, he's that good, so he's going to be putting forth some Superman stuff because he does Superman type things every week. But it could also be a negative thing. These 49ers know how to take the ball from you. So if he's back there being Superman too much, where he's going back and forth and doing all this, and he's got the football waving all around and spinning around and doing all this, they will strip the ball from him. I'm telling you, they will take it from him. Or if he's back there trying to do too much and he throws the ball and it just so happens to get tipped in the air, they will come down with that interception. About 90% of the chance, 90% of the time, they're going to get it. So he's got to do Superman things like we've typically seen him do, where he's carrying his team doing all kind of crazy stuff. And we say, how can he do that? He's got to do that. But if he's being Superman doing too much, he's going to cause them to lose. So he's got to find some type of balance, because if he's overdoing it and he's trying to do too much Superman, I'm telling you, it's going to cause them to lose because these Niners will take the ball from him. All right, so that's my thoughts on the three things that the Chiefs need to do to be able to win this game. Now we'll go ahead and get into my prediction. I don't know if you Chiefs are going to love this or not. I do believe that the 49ers have so much heartache and heartbreak over these last few years. It's almost impossible for me to see them lose this football game. I think they're going to prepare so well, and I think that they've seen what happens when they don't come out and play their best game. They got down by the Packers. They were down by the Lions. I think they've seen what can happen if they don't bring their A game. And in the Chiefs, they have shown the ability to have some pretty down offensive games over this year. And being that I told you I'm from Kansas, I'm a big Jayhawks fan. And back in the day, I would always put the Jayhawks, whenever we would fill out our brackets, I would fill the Jayhawks winning the championship every single time when I would fill my bracket out. And somehow it never failed that the reason why the Jayhawks lost every single year would be the exact same issues that they showed throughout the year. So, for instance, if the Jayhawks had terrible turnover ratio throughout the season, but they just barely squeaked by and they got the first round, they got the first seed, but every game I'm like, dang, they turned the ball over a lot. The game that they lost in the NCAA tournament in March Madness, typically they lost because they turned the ball over too much. Or if the Jayhawks had an issue with a low three-point shooting percentage all throughout the season, the game that they lost in March Madness would be because they shot like 3 for 35 in three-point range, something crazy like that. So typically the reason why you lose the big game, it has a whole lot to do with what you saw them struggle with throughout the year. And with the Chiefs, they haven't really had offensive weapons outside of Travis Kelce consistently. They haven't really gotten that ground game running like they really want to. I think that that's all going to rear its ugly head in this game against the 49ers. And I think we're going to be like, at the end of this game, I think they're going to say the Chiefs didn't have enough offensive weapons outside of Kelce. I think they'll say Kelce played well. All the other weapons just didn't show up. That's what we've seen throughout the year, and I think it'll show up in the biggest moment. I believe the 49ers will jump out to a pretty big lead early on. I think the Chiefs' championship pride, will keep it closer than, Broncos versus Seahawks a few years ago, or some of those blowout games that were like shocking. I don't think it'll go there. I do think that this game is going to be pretty open. I think maybe at some point it might be like 31-10, 31-17, something like that. Yeah, I think it's going to end somewhere around 31-17. That's what I'm thinking. 49ers. I think the 49ers will win this game. I know a whole lot of y'all probably don't want to hear that, especially me being from Kansas. Y'all probably think I'm supposed to jump on the bandwagon, but it seems like I'm the only person who realizes that the Kansas City Chiefs are not in Kansas. They're in Missouri, so they're not my home team. They're not my whatever. But anyways, I'd love to know what y'all think about that. Just my opinion, but my guess on what's going to happen. We all have guesses. None of us know, obviously. But I do think that the 49ers are just going to be so amped up, so focused, so zoned in, laser focused from the first snap all the way through. I think they're finally going to put together a full, complete game. It's just my thoughts. So let me know what you think on that. I appreciate you watching the video. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. I typically do a lot of Miami Hurricanes football stuff because I'm a big Miami Hurricanes fan. But I also do some professional football, professional basketball, jumping back and forth on that. I'm just a big lover of sports. So, all right, that's all that I got for you today. Please leave in the comments. Let me know your predictions on the game. Looking forward to it. Should be really exciting. As I always say to end my videos, like what Jay-Z once said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate that. So take care. God bless. Peace.